So we just got some new news when it comes to Sonic Frontiers, and this time specifically about the story. Comes from GameInformer and Brian Shea. Brian Shea just recently also did an interview with Fidel Games Cage, shout out to Fidel by the way, and they talked about some more stuff about Sonic Frontiers. Nothing too new, but just to get that out of the way, the most noteworthy things have to be about cyberspace stages being branching paths and them getting harder as you go on. The homing attack is on the X button instead of double tapping jump. And those are the main big things, honestly. A lot of it was stuff he's already said in his own coverage. But he just dropped a new article on GameInformer.com talking about what should players expect from Sonic Frontiers' story. And this is where I think it gets a bit more interesting and answers some of my questions about Ian Flynn. Hey, you there. Yeah, you watching. There's 49,000 people that keep coming back to these videos. I don't really have 49,000 subscribers. Since you guys keep on coming back, why not hit the subscribe button? It really helps out the channel, and so that way you don't have to miss anything. Thanks guys. But first off, they talk about why they even brought him on, and it says, Ian has been working as a comic writer for a long time, so I was very familiar with his work. But after reading the IDW comics, I was even more impressed with his talent. Sonic Team Creative Officer Takashi Iizuka says, that's why I wanted to ask him to work on the story for the game as well. He knows the characters well, so he brought a great improvement to the characters' emotions and dialogue. That right there makes me very happy to hear that they brought him on because they know that he's very good at, doing this and making these characters feel like themselves. And that's something that Sonic has been missing for a long time, and I actually have a great amount of hope when it comes to Sonic Frontiers' story and characterization. And in this part of the article here, he talks about how he notices that handiwork that Ian Flynn is putting into the game, and how he mentions previous things from previous Sonic games to show that this is an interconnected timeline, like when he mentions the Chow Garden. And this part is very interesting. While Forces and Generations also reference several other games, Frontiers looks to do with a lighter touch. Players shouldn't expect a wide array of character cameos or familiar boss battles as seen in those games. Yes, Eggman is in the game, as are a small handful of Sonic's friends, but the cast of characters is trimmed down substantially from recent Sonic games. The story begins as Sonic, Amy, and Tails visit undeveloped Kronos Island and are separated by a mysterious phenomenon. Iizuka says Sonic sets out alone to find his missing friends, but this is an undeveloped land that no one has visited before, so we won't be seeing a huge cast of characters. It also says while not everyone's favorite characters appear in Sonic Frontiers, Flynn hints that we might get deeper cuts mentioned. As you're running around, listen to what Sonic says to himself. He says you might hear some names dropped that'll surprise you. Now I can imagine that could be like Mighty or Ray or something like that. Sonic can just probably be like, I wonder what those guys are up to or something. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Now this is where we get some questions answered, or at least me, because I've had some really big questions about Ian Flynn's role in this game. Despite Sonic Team largely calling the shots, Flynn was still able to have some major say in the overarching narrative. It was during that time when Ian Flynn presented some ideas for bringing different characters into the story. Director Morio Kishimoto says, we had the development team think about how it could get integrated into the new open zone format, which then prompted Ian Flynn to present even more new ideas to us. And through that cooperative back and forth, we settled on the characters that would appear in the game. So essentially, Ian Flynn doesn't have major control over the story, but there's a story path that Sonic Team specifically wants to follow, and Ian Flynn has to fill in those details and also pitches ideas back to Sonic Team to add those into the game. So it is a collaborative effort, which is better than just hearing about him only writing the dialogue, because that didn't honestly seem that right to me. So overall, that aspect makes me very happy to hear. Now this might be my favorite part of this article, and it says featuring Eggman in the story was something we decided on from the early stages of things. Kishimoto says we wanted Eggman to be an extremely important key figure in the story for it to be successful. We didn't just want him to be the bad guy in our good versus bad guy scenario, we wanted to portray him as a flesh and blood human being in the story. The last time I felt that about Eggman was Sonic Adventure 2. He felt like a flesh and blood human. He had very clear motivations and even character development by the end of the story when he comes and works together with Sonic to defeat the Bio-Lizard. He even talks to Tails as if it's pretty much done. Everything he's done in the name of his grandfather was just kind of not right. And he just sounded very sincere. And Dean Bristow, the voice actor of Eggman back then, really sold that to me. And if they're going for that route of characterization again, I am so excited to see it. In this last part of the article, which I would say is probably the actual best part of the article, is that according to director Kishimoto, the storytelling of Sonic Frontiers takes a serious tone, hoping to transcend that good guys versus bad guys scenario he referred to that is present in most games in the genre. We needed something more dramatic to set that serious tone and foreshadow things to ponder while playing the game. He says on the surface our story is something that can be easily enjoyed, but we also wanted to challenge ourselves to create a drama that would be enjoyable if thought about at a deeper level. This is a rare type of experience in the stage clear action game genre, but it was also important for us to integrate it in as it was a critical importance to this open zone format. Those are some heavy words when it comes to describing the story. And honestly, I do get the vibe of a serious tone from this. I have not even heard Sonic make any quips yet so far in any of the footage we've seen. This might be leaning back in the serious tone of Sonic, and that makes me very excited to see. Now, a lot of people have their opinions on the voice actors, but if they have good direction to sell that serious tone, I don't really care. Maybe not gameplay wise, but at least Sonic as a character and the whole stories of Sonic are probably going to be going back to the direction that I enjoyed personally. The Colors era with the quippy jokes and the overly simple stories just don't really hit for me. I feel like Sonic stories in the past have always had some kind of message or deeper meaning or something that hits. Black Knight, Secret Rings, Unleashed, Adventure 2, Adventure 1, all of those games have stories that mean something. Colors, I can't really say it means anything. Forces is a mess. Lost World, we're not even gonna go there. Maybe things going in this serious tone will make me care about the story more, because I've mostly just become a gameplay guy. Sonic's a fun thing rather than, oh, I love the stories, they're great to go alongside the gameplay. It's mostly just, I like the gameplay nowadays. Now, I'm not saying this story needs to be some overly serious, edgy story. What I'm saying is there needs to be more of a focus on the story itself rather than just it not being a second thought. It's kind of like Spider-Man. Spider-Man can be that quippy, funny guy, but the stories are still serious themselves. Sonic is that kind of character archetype, and that needs to be done correctly. And from what they're talking about in this interview, that's what it's hyping up to be, and I'm excited to see it, honestly. I really never thought I'd be excited for a Sonic story ever again, because as I've gotten older, the stories have just gotten more immature. Stories going the opposite way of me, but maybe this time it's trying to catch back up. But what do you guys think about this article? Are you excited? There's a lot of interesting things in here, and it's kind of got me excited for the story as well. I want to see how this all unfolds. But anyways, drop the like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, whatever happens, happens.